6 weeks ago, I was changing my daughter, my 4-year-old daughter, and I noticed that when I changed her, she was red and very sensitive. And immediately, my first thought was, did someone touch her? Oh, God. Gosh. So I asked her, I said, baby, did somebody touch you? And she ended up saying it was Daddy. I felt like my world ended on that day. My husband wasn't home at the time when she told me, but I knew he would be coming home soon, so all I could do was just say, don't tell him that you told me. And I just instantly started trying to think of how I could get my kids out of the house, because I knew if I confronted him or asked him about it, that he would just lie, and that he would probably just continue to keep doing stuff to her, but just become more covert or more sneaky or whatever. As soon as my husband got home, he was actually picking up the boys from school, my 2 older boys from school. As soon as he got home, I told him that I was going to go Halloween shopping with my sister because I just needed an excuse to get out of the house with all the kids. And I knew if I said something like, oh, I'm going to the grocery store, that it would be suspicious. Like, why am I bringing all the kids and like packing things, like things that we would need and things like that. So going Halloween shopping was the best thing I could think of to just hurry up and get the kids out of the house. I'm sorry, I had to get myself together. So when I got to the hospital, they basically told me that we had to go to another hospital because they didn't do physical exams, like that kind of physical exam there. So a police officer escorted the kids and I to another hospital where they were able to evaluate my daughters. It ended up coming out that he had actually been touching both of my daughters, who are only 2 and 4 years old.
Oh, so fabulous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumebi. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. I do hope you decide to subscribe, and if you are a returning subscriber, you guys know that I love you. It's so good to have you here. Welcome back. So first of all, this video is strictly for educational purposes. Do not go searching out anybody that I talk about in this video. Don't send them any form of hate comments, threats, or violence. This channel does not support any of that. So you guys already saw in the title, and if you're online regularly, you have seen people talk about this, from YouTube to TikTok, probably to Instagram and to X, formerly Twitter. Everybody has been talking about this. So a content creator known as Isis has been going viral for a video that she made titled "I Married a Monster." This video, as at the time that I saw it, was over 1 million views. And when I saw the video, you know, she just looked devastated from the thumbnail, and I was like, okay, let me watch this video. And on watching the video, you guys, my jaw dropped from the things she revealed. Initially, I thought it was going to be her talking about maybe her husband cheating on her, but it turned out to be something even far worse. This lady runs a channel called The Trophy Wife, and everything about her channel is how she teaches women to position themselves in such a way as to marry up. Basically, hypergamy, how to become a trophy wife, how to get, in quote, a high value man. Personally, I don't like this phrase high value. I think people tend to misinterpret what high value really means when it comes to searching for a partner, and they automatically think it means somebody who is wealthy. But anyway, she teaches women how to position themselves in such a way that they can get such a man who can pay their bills and give them, in quote, the princess treatment, and basically become their knight in shining armor and save them and take care of them while they probably probably just stay home and, bear kids and live the good life and be a spoiled wife, right? And there are a lot of channels that teach things like this in modern day social media. Women want to know how to marry up. A lot of women are more interested in hypergamy now. So definitely she had her audience. So now her coming out and talking about how this man, this high value man who basically saved her, who was her knight in shining armor, actually SAing her 2 children. Mind you, these are 2 children that she has by this man. She was a single mother of 2 boys prior to marrying this man, and then she went on to have 3 children by this man. So now this man SA'd 2 girls who are actually his own children as well. This is one of the most traumatizing, disgusting, disturbing things that can happen, and it is alarming, and it is quite sad because this tends to happen a lot. You see children, you see minors, you see innocent little souls being essayed, being touched by people who are supposed to take care of them, family members and neighbors, and in worst case scenarios like this one, even their own parents. I wonder how sick of a person you have to be touching on your children, even to make you worse, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old child. So everybody has been talking about this, a lot of think pieces, a lot of reactions, and people empathize with her, but people also are able to call her out on the fact that she was in a marriage that she knew something was wrong, because this man had R-worded her 4 times in the marriage and she was still glorifying that lifestyle about being a trophy wife. So it's almost like lying to your audience about how glamorous it is to live the kind of life you're living when you know that behind closed doors everything is not all right. So she was being called out for that, for selling a dream that was definitely not real, and she was also being called out for not vetting this man properly as a woman should, especially as a woman who already had children from a previous relationship. People went through her videos and they found other videos where she was talking about how she met this man and married him in a week.
Right, so we started entertaining the idea of getting married, like, immediately. And I, didn't want to get my hopes up, so I just said that, he's saying all these things, but I'm going to see what action he takes. And so I had just got paid, and I was like, okay, we seem like we're really talking about seriously entertaining the idea of getting married. So I'm going to go and get the wedding ring. We were talking about getting married like the next week, and he was out of town in Colorado, so we hadn't seen each other. This is all talk, but we're going over FaceTime. So I went and got his ring. I think I paid like $300 for it. It wasn't like a super flashy ring like the one he has now, which is completely a lot better. But I went and got his ring, and the next time we talked on FaceTime, I was like, I did something. And he was like, what did you do? I was like, I got your wedding ring. So he was like, no, you didn't. Show me. So I showed him. I was like, yeah, I actually did it. I don't know if you were really being serious, but we were talking about getting married. So then after that, I think it was like the next day, somebody told me to go online and check my eHarmony profile. So I went on there and I saw that he had updated his picture, and I was like, oh no, this dude is playing around. Like, I'm glad I didn't spend a whole bunch of money on this ring. Like, he was just playing, and I screenshotted it and sent him a picture, and I said, it doesn't seem like we're on the same page, so yeah, I'm done with this. And he texted me, he was like, I think he tried to call me, I didn't answer. And he texted me and he was like, no, I'm serious, I am going to marry you, in caps. And I think that evening he ended up going and buying my ring.
So definitely there's been criticisms about the fact that, first of all, it's crazy enough to do something like that. Secondly, it's even crazier to do that when you are a single mother, when you already have children. And later on in this video, I'm going to talk about what I think about being a single mother, being a single parent, and how that basically affects your life and your life decisions going forward from then onwards. But before then, let's just listen to some reactions and some commentary that people have made regarding the trophy wife story.
Why isn't the trophy wife locked up? Why isn't the trophy wife and her husband locked up? See, I know that women can be victims. I absolutely know that women can be victims to DV. I know they can be victims to abuse. But the moment I've heard this live, like I heard a clip of a live, well, one of the girls was in the background screaming and saying, ouch, or stop, or something. And you didn't stop your video, stop yourself from recording and go check on your child. See, this is what I don't get about people in general, right? The dad is the monster. We know he's the monster. But the mom literally putting her girls on a silver platter is more of a monster. You have 2 little girls. I have a daughter. At those ages, we're cleaning their noonie. We're bathing them. We're giving them a bath. We getting them dressed for school. We see their privates too much. For you not to have seen anything, on either one of your girls. It just says you turned a blind eye. You probably hoped that he was going to either grow out of it or stop doing it to your girls, whatever the case may be. But you saw that. So you being a victim is one thing. But the minute that trickled down to your girls not being protected by you, you became the villain.
Why would you come on the internet and tell the whole world that your children were essayed by their father? That's one of the most traumatic things that can ever happen to a person. And if that person wanted the world to know, it should be that person's choice on how, where, and when they share their story. It is not right for you to take that away from your children. They're not going to be 2 and 4 years old forever. And, I'll empathize and give her the benefit of the doubt that this was just a very difficult situation. And honestly, she's not the only person I've seen do that. There's multiple creators on TikTok who have done that. And it's very harmful to the victim. And then my question also is, or is it because it almost looks like now you're trying to monetize your children's trauma? They're not going to be that age forever. And everybody's going to know. And kids are not nice. Some kids will bring this up in a very horrible way when this person is an adult.
Trophy wife. Her husband has been essaying her 2 daughters. This is the man that she thought was godly, righteous, was a good and amazing man. She has even been grooming ladies, be teaching ladies how to have a husband like hers. But she did not know that her husband is the person she should have protected her family against, not the world. Because she had a background where she was essayed by a neighbor's daughter, she said she has been very conscious with her daughters. Against her neighbors, relatives, she has been very cautious. She doesn't even allow her daughter to sit on a man's lap. That's how far she can go. But she never knew that whenever she goes to sleep, her husband does things to the children. How do you protect your children against their own father? Because you can protect your children against the world, against the neighbors, against your relatives. But how can you suspect your husband? How can you protect your children against their own father? This is the slickest, dreadest, and I don't even know how to put it. The least person you can ever suspect will do such a thing to your children, knowing the background she came from. She said her husband portrayed himself as a good, righteous, and godly man. So she was happy that she has seen somebody who they can protect their children together. Unknowing to her, who she should have protected her children against was her husband. This story is really heartbreaking. Very heartbreaking.
We need to talk about the new trophy wife. Not to be confused with your favorite trophy wife. They're 2 different creators, so please don't mix them up because I feel really bad for your favorite trophy wife and her husband, given the allegations that have come out. This woman has made it her whole brand, being a trophy wife, hypergamy, provider man, and basically selling women on the idea of how they can do this too. Now, I support women who want to practice sprinkle, who want to practice hypergamy, who seek out provider men, but I make content specifically warning women about the warning signs of potential abuse and how to avoid being, a victim of abuse. I actually do not believe that women who engage in sprinkle, who seek out provider men, who want to date wealthy men, are actually making themselves more vulnerable to abuse. When I was practicing as a lawyer, I started out working with a lot of legal aid cases. And let me tell you, the worst cases that I have ever had dealing with abuse, SA, harming children, all of that, all of them, 100% were legal aid cases. All the family lawyers that I know will say the same thing, that the legal aid cases are always the ones that will haunt your nightmares forever. Like, they're always the ones where you hear about the absolute worst, most vicious things happening to women and children. Most lawyers that I know will do everything that they can to get away from having to do legal aid cases, and most family lawyers that I know much prefer dealing with rich people divorces, because those divorces, 9 times out of 10, are really simple and straightforward, and you're fighting over who's going to get the holiday home and what's going to happen with the Porsche. So abuse and harm to children is not a type of thing that is in any way associated more strongly with women who are dating or marrying wealthier men. If anything, I would say I have experienced the opposite and seen that it happens a lot more in lower socioeconomic situations. These were women who clearly were not marrying for money, okay? Clearly they were marrying for love, and sadly the man that they loved hurt them, hurt their children. So it can happen across tax brackets. So I think the first thing that we all need to do is to stop blaming this woman, this new trophy wife, because somehow people think she brought it upon herself by being so stupid as to want to date a man who will provide for her financially, as if this is somehow the natural consequence of that. That being said, that doesn't mean that there aren't lessons that we could glean from this, and that as women, learn to keep yourself and your children safer.
Now I'm seeing people saying this is a good mom because she believed the kids instantly. I'm gonna stop that. Stop that right there. This is a bad mother. You broke up with somebody and within 1 week, you were married to another person, and they were able to be around your children, faster than it took you, the mother, to meet them. So everyone's saying that's a good mom. Yes, it was great that she believed her kids instantly and took the necessary precaution, but allowing somebody into your life and around your children that fast, getting married and moving into a person's house that you met on a dating website, that's not a good mother. That's not. I hope the kids get the help they need. I hope they, get the therapy and everything they're going to need in the future. But stop saying that's a good mother.
The new trophy wife. A lot of y'all are not going to like the opinion that I have, and that's okay. I am literally shaking right now. She knew. She knew. Coming from someone that grew up in a situation like that was essayed from the age of 4 to 6 years old, and more than one adult around me knew. She knew. This woman never put her children's safety first. She was living with a man, broke up with him, and in a week moved into her husband's house and married him. Her entire platform was built off of teaching women how to have the right image to attract a high-value man. You need to be a Barbie doll, not a Bratz doll. You need to keep your eyebrows done. You need to make sure that you work out and stay fit. Sometimes people play more of a role than y'all like to admit. We all want to give her a clean slate and say she had no idea. How many times had she changed her daughters in the last 2 years, in the last 4 years? I literally feel like I'm going to throw up. She had an image to uphold, and she liked the lifestyle that that man was providing for her. So she stayed quiet until she saw a way out. Because if you're a mother, and you find out that this is what has been done to your child, everybody reacts differently. So you might not go crazy like I would, Some of us are more mentally stable. But one thing's for sure is you are not going to put the most private thing, the most hurtful thing that your child could possibly go through online to monetize from, to make money from, for the entire world to see before they've even gotten therapy, before they can even process what daddy has done to them. There is no way on God's green earth is a real mother going to get online and air this out for millions of people to see, taking complete privacy away from a child. Could you imagine if you got raped and then your mother posted it for the entire world to see before you could even process what had been done to you? Could you? Give her grace, give her grace, give her grace. Why do we never question? Why do we just say, she must have been blind? She must have been ignorant. She must have not noticed the red flags. Not every woman in a situation like this is innocent. 4 to 6 years old. And they knew. And they never stopped it. Because he paid the bills. Because they liked the lifestyle he provided. Because it made him not as angry at them. Because it meant he didn't cheat. Because it kept him at home. Because it kept him happy. Everything is not what it seems. And I stand 10 toes down on the fact that a mom that just found out her child has been essayed, or worse, is not going to get on TikTok to raise awareness before the person has even been prosecuted, before her children have even processed what has happened to them.
You see the trophy wife saga, the whole trophy wife saga story that is going on the internet right now. If that story doesn't teach you anything, it should teach you that a man having money doesn't make him a high value man. What makes a man a high value man is a man that has character, a man that has self-control, a man that has integrity, a man that is kind. That is what makes a man a high value person, not money. The value is not in the wealth. The value is in the integrity and the character of a man. So go and make money. Go and make money as a woman, so that when you are choosing a man, you don't choose a man based on the size of his pockets, but the size of his heart.
Now, you guys, this is just sad. As much as I empathize with her, my heart goes out to the children, because apart from the fact that they are facing this trauma, the idea of it being online, that the whole world has gotten to see and hear about this, and even when they become adults or old enough to understand the implications, that this is going to still be out there, it just breaks my heart. The fact that the world is getting to know about something that they probably would want to keep private is quite sad, and people have questioned ISIS's motive for putting it out there. Like, why are you putting your children's business out there over something so sensitive? And on the other hand, some people have argued that it is good she says this so that people can know how dangerous the man in question is, according to what she said. It's serving like a warning, and also probably because he happens to be in quote this high value, probably very financially stable and influential man, this might be her own way of protecting herself and her children for putting it out there for the world to see. So I want you guys to let me know what you guys think. Do you think it was a good idea her making this video and talking about her children's business? Then secondly, being a single parent, it changes your life in so many ways. If you for any reason bring a child into this world outside wedlock, you have to know that it affects your decisions going forward. You're not going to have the other parent in the home for you to share parenting responsibilities equally. Even if they are playing their part, they are going to be doing it from another home, and there's distance. You also should place your children's well-being above even yourself and any relationship or marriage you choose to enter in the future, which is where I kind of think ISIS should have done better. The fact that she moved in and married this man within 1 week was definitely, in my opinion, not very smart, because she couldn't have been able to vet this man and do all the research that she needed to do for the safety and well-being of her children. And I also empathize with her because she said she was a product of rape, and she also was touched on, she was essayed when she was a child by a neighbor's husband or so. So that alone makes me understand that this person also had her trauma that she probably did not heal from. So I also empathize with her on that. And people are taking this opportunity to talk down on her because she chose hypergamy. She chose to marry up to become, in quote, a trophy wife. Yes, putting money at the forefront of the reason why you want to pick a person as a spouse or a partner can be dangerous. It can cloud your judgment. But we also need to acknowledge the fact that it is not just, in quote, these high value men that SA their children. And I dare say there's actually nothing wrong in wanting a man who can provide and take care of the family, but that does not mean that you do not vet him to know the kind of person he is. You guys, some people are walking around the world being possessed by demons, letting the devil use them. So even if he can provide, that's not good enough. You have to vet this man to know he is a person of good character and a person that has good values. So she probably did not do that, because marrying a man in 1 week, excuse me, it just screams red flag. All in all, this is very, very sad, and I feel so bad for the children, because even when I was researching for this video, I saw some people put these children's faces out there in the public, and those little children, my heart just broke, you guys. Being a mom now and knowing the true value of bringing a child into this world, and seeing people who even want children but are unable to have kids, and then seeing people who have kids and put them through pain and put their selfish pleasure above the well-being of a child. Some people are just selfish and really do not deserve to have kids. And I really hope that if this man really did all that she said, I hope that he gets his payback and he suffers for it, because those children have to have justice. But I also want young women of these days to get their values right. It's not all about the amount of money a man can throw at you and the expensive bags and trips and clothes that he can buy for you, and it's not always about the monetary value or financial standing of a man. You need a man with good character. You need a man who is God-fearing. There are so many other things that are more important than money, and I think our generation needs to get that straight. And I also feel like a lot of women need to be very careful about bringing children into this world, especially outside wedlock, because it changes your life. It influences the kind of person you can be with, it influences your kind of career, it influences so many other things and decisions that you can make in life. And you have to sacrifice a lot for these children, because guess what, they did not ask to be here, you brought them in. So if you know you're not selfless enough to make these sacrifices, to put them first even before yourself, I don't think you should be a single parent or even be a parent to start with. Thirdly, for people who actually touch on children, they are the scum of the earth, and I hope karma catches up with them. I hope justice gets served, and I hope that they suffer for ruining the lives of innocent children. You guys, let me know what you think about this whole situation in the comment section. Let's just have a conversation. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.